Qualifying today for the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix was quite special, wasn't it? If you're new here, my name is Sachin and I love Formula 1 and INDYCAR, and I cover both series, literally every session, FP1, FP2, FP3, quali, race. I do live streaming as well, but today's focus is qualifying at Barber Motorsports Park. So let's dive right into it. It was such an amazing qualifying session. And look at the track, 14 turns, very physical, 90 lap race tomorrow it's going to be, and qualifying is in like that 1 minute 6 seconds to 1 minute 8 second range, and it was just stunning, absolutely stunning. Now, how does qualifying work in INDYCAR? If you're new here, right, if you're new to INDYCAR, in Formula 1, the format is you have Q1, Q2, Q3. In INDYCAR, Q1 is split into two groups. Okay, so there are 25 cars this year. There'll be two groups, Group 1, Group 2. Group 1 will have 12, Group 2, 13. And what happens is the top 6 from each group progress to Q2, which is called Fast 12. And then from Fast 12, within Fast 12, you'd want to be in the top 6 because that they progress to Q3. So that becomes your Fast 6. And the Fast 6 go out and fight for pole. So anyway, that is how, just giving you a bit of an idea. This is my first time doing this as well, this video. So I'm trying my best to, I've come up with a template of how to articulate and communicate the results to you guys. I hope it makes sense. If not, if it could be bettered in any way, please feel free to drop it in the comments below. I would love to hear. But yeah, qualifying results, let's get right into it. It was a fascinating session. We see willpower here from Andretti Global. It was an interesting session. So we'll start with Q1, which was Q1 Group 1, Round 1, or Round 1, Group 1. So where the first 12 cars went out on track and 6 got eliminated. We'll look at the eliminated ones first. And there you have it. Round 1, Group 1 eliminations. Some big names. Some huge names. Now, the number you see associated with each of the names is the position they will start the race in tomorrow based on the combined qualifying time. Scott Dixon starts from P13. Unbelievable. He's had to be fair, like it's been a very tough start to the year for Scott Dixon. Like, you don't expect a Chip Ganassi to be struggling the way he has, right? Whether that's the setup or balance or just getting the tires in the right temperature. It's been a tough sell for Scott to begin the year with, but again, 6-time IndyCar champion, you cannot write him off. He's the master of IndyCar, pretty much, right? And then anything can happen with him. With him, Nolan Siegel in the McLaren. Again, it's a big ask, right? Nolan has a lot of pressure this year on him from McLaren. Tony Kanaan has been very open, who's a team principal at McLaren under Zach Brown. He has said pretty much Nolan needs to finish top 10 in the championship across the season. So it's going to be a very tough ask for Nolan because his performances have not been ideal. But again, you know, one might argue, was he put into a McLaren a little bit too early on? We don't know because it's tough. It's tough, right? Another surprise, and that's the beauty of IndyCar. There'll be so many surprises. Christian Rasmussen, right, in the beautiful, one of my favorite liveries this year, Splendor Ed Carpenter racing car. He's going to be starting P17. Again, had a spin out of turn 5 at one point. Just not quite there. And then Kiffin Simpson, another Chip Ganassi. 2 Chip Ganassi racing cars. Now, if you're new here in IndyCar, let's say the biggest teams, so if you would think Formula 1, you have Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, or Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, right? Chip Ganassi is like a Mercedes or a Ferrari of IndyCar, right? So to see 2 out of their 3 cars in the bottom, not ideal. So Kiffin Simpson, again, in the beautiful Sunoco livery, did not do as well as he would have wanted for sure. Kyle Collette, the rookie, 21st. He was looking quick at certain points, but again, rookie, it's tough to judge, right? And Barber is such an impressive track, and it's so physical. It's so tough for rookies as well. So you have to give him a little bit of, You got to cut him some slack. And when I was watching, Townsend Bell and James Hinchcliffe were talking about it, where James Hinchcliffe actually ran into some of the rookies last night, and James was pretty much saying, look, you think this is tough right now? Wait till you get into the last stint of the race, the last 15 to 20 laps, when you come in for your final pit stop, and then go. See, then let's talk after it and see what happens. So Kaya Collette, again, 21st, it's okay. Would love to see how he sort of grows, and he's shown flashes of pace. Another huge name alongside Scott Dixon, Will Power. Now, in that beautiful TWG, Jesus Christ, Andretti Global. This is his third. He had a huge shunt today. His brakes failed. So you're seeing 23rd. That's where he's going to start tomorrow. It's not because of his fault. His brakes failed, and it was scary. Essentially, what he described was that he was driving into turn. Let's have a look. Let's go back. If you see turn 4 into 5, when you come from turn 3 into 4, it's a straight, and then you suddenly slam your brakes, right? When he was slamming his brakes into turn 4, usually brakes are very, very heavy in Formula cars. So when you got to put a lot of force for it to move like slightly, right? He literally pressed the brake and it went flat. Hydraulic failure, I don't know what, but he just went straight into the wall and T-boned it like nose first, and it looked horrific. So I hope he's okay. He looked pretty dejected, and yeah, you could see him being very, open, and it was very emotional. You could see he was very, very furious. But 3 crashes in 4 races doesn't bode super well, I would say. But again, a lot of it has not been his fault. It's just the Andretti, that car. Like, for some reason, Will Power's brakes, for some reason, are just not doing as well. So again, those were the 6 that were eliminated from round 1, group 1. Now, if we go into round 1, group 2, the other remaining 13 cars, here we go. Again, a few big names. And this is the jeopardy of INDYCAR, right? Scott McLaughlin in the Penske is going to start P14 tomorrow. That's insane. In the Odyssey Battery Penske as well. You don't really expect such a thing from Scott McLaughlin, but he also had a big hit, actually. He was coming to turn 1, and he literally clipped the grass he clipped the grass with his front right and his rear right tires, and it literally just went on a spin, and then he kind of went backwards into the wall, and he kind of just flung over it and went through the barriers. It was pretty scary to see. So from there, in practice 2, and then after a few hours of qualifying, very, very tough job for anyone. So for him to finish P7 in this, out of the 13, but then combined qualifying from everything combined, he starts P14. But the Odyssey Battery is a black and red car, and it was a blue and white and red car today. So another Frankenstein livery, which was pretty pretty cool to see. Renus VK, going to start P16. He showed flashes. He showed a lot of flash of speed, but again, it didn't quite come together. But again, just learning curves for Renus VK. I think there was a lot of talk about why aren't big teams looking at Renus VK. He's only 25 years old. 25 years old. He's into his 5th season, I believe, in INDYCAR. So he's super experienced, but he's never really been seen as that guy, So I just hope that he sort of continues, and he has that speed. We've seen it so many times at the Indy 500. We've seen it road course, street course. He knows how to get the most out of the car. And last year with Dale Coyne, he was amazing. Now, we move on to Felix Rosenquist in that beautiful Kenny Chesney car, Sirius XM. He's going to start P18. I would say he'd be pretty disappointed given where his teammate Marcus Armstrong is going to start tomorrow. We'll get to that. But yeah, nothing much more to say with Felix. I think he just needs to get to a point where, just get a bit more competitive, really. Moving on, Mick Schumacher in that EV, I think. Rail Letterman Lanigan, the rookie Mick Schumacher. Again, a lot of pressure comes with that name. But, Mick has been impressive. And hear me out. What do I mean by that? he has shown flashes of speed, like a lot. But the thing is, because these cars are like Formula 2 cars on steroids, it's really, really, really physical. And the physical aspect of it is catching Mick out a lot. I think in Arlington, he literally said on the radio, like, this is insane. And then Townsend Bell on the radio was like, yeah, mate. Oh, sorry. On commentary, was like, yeah, mate. Yeah, Mick, this is not Monaco, mate. So it's IndyCar is super raw and authentic, right? So very curious to see how he does tomorrow, but he's learning, he's adapting, and he has a very good mentor in Graham Rahal, who I don't want to give any spoilers, but let's just say he had a very good day today. Yeah, and his teammate Louis Foster in the other RLL will start P22. This is his sophomore year, as they say in North America. So the year after your rookie year, for those of you who don't know. And he's going to be, I think a little bit disappointed with P22. I think, starting right at the back. So I think he'll be looking to make some moves. Dennis Hauger, another rookie, the Norwegian, what do you call it? The Norwegian Nightmare. There you go. Again, it's a new course. It's a physical course. All these rookies, you got to, cut some slack off for them. So I think he'll just be raking up those laps and just doing a good job, hoping to do a good job and get through to the end of the race. And you never know, the race is a pretty funny thing in IndyCar. Anything can happen. And then lastly, the last elimination in Group 2 was Stingray Robb. Now, this is interesting, okay? He has had multiple incidences on track in St. Pete. He was the one who caused the collision with Santino Ferrucci and Mick Schumacher. Mick couldn't finish his first race because of that. And then today, he pretty much impeded Romain Grosjean. And like, if this was Formula 1 slam dunk penalty, like, I don't know why. I don't know if he did get a penalty. I'm not too sure. But my assumption would be he should have. I don't know. But yeah, tough year. Tough start a little bit. Going to start plumb last. So he's going to be under a lot of pressure to perform from the team, from the investors, sponsors, and whatnot. So yeah, in this bunch though, I would say Scott McLaughlin's the one who you guys should keep your eye on. And he's going to have, from the back of the grid. He did that in Arlington. I think he's going to do it this week as well. So we'll see tomorrow how he goes. But yeah, let's move on to Fast 12. So the 6 from Round 1 Group 1 and the 6 from Round 1 Group 2 who didn't get eliminated move on to the Fast 12. And this is where they ended up. There you go. Now, a few big ones here as well. A lot of jeopardy in play. I'm going to start with my biggest surprise over here, which was P12 for Pato O'Ward. He's going to start the race in P12 in that McLaren. Very, very shocking. I did not expect Pato to struggle because he was there or thereabouts, pretty much the entire time. So I don't know what happened towards the end. And the same thing I want to say for Christian Lundgaard, P10. Both McLarens didn't make the Fast 6. Now, making Fast 6 is a tough job, but there were a couple of, contenders due to whom these guys couldn't necessarily progress. Like the guys you expect couldn't get there. So, yeah, Pato was a big surprise. He looked very puzzled when he got out of the car after qualifying, and he was just like, wait, what happened over here? Alex Rossi, I think for ECR, given where Rasmussen's going to start, Alex Rossi would be fairly happy, I would say. I don't think he would be super chuffed or super upset, kind of neutral, given where the cars have been this weekend. So, yeah, Christian Lundgaard, as I touched on, surprising. He had the pace, but I think Pato had more pace than Lundgaard. But Lundgaard, I would say, would have loved to finish around that 7th, 8th sort of region. But again, it's not the end of the world. Again, if you're starting top 10, you're still in a very good spot. Joseph Newgarden, I think starting P9 is not what he would have wanted. If you look at the Penske dynamics, so Team Penske is the Ferrari, not even the Ferrari, like they own IndyCar basically, right? So Joseph Newgarden, Scott McLaughlin that I touched on earlier in the Odyssey battery, he's going to start P14. Yeah, and then Joseph Newgarden in P9. Bit odd. Very odd, I would say. And he's had a tricky start. He won, obviously, in Phoenix. But the remainder of the races, it's been very incident-prone. Nothing today. It was a clean session. But, yeah, just lacked pace for some reason. So very out of place, I would say, for Joseph Newgarden. But also, Scott McLaughlin had he not had that crash, I think things would have been very different. You know what I mean? So it's a tit for tat. And yeah, they're slightly out of position. And so is Marcus Ericsson, actually, in P8. I thought at the beginning of this weekend, he looked a little bit in FP1, nothing crazy. FP2, he came alive. In FP3, he was like, yeah, he was absolutely on it. But then there was like this weird degradation in, Pato Award, Lundgaard, Newgarden, Marcus. Like, I don't know what happened where towards the last, and all these big names just suddenly, they just couldn't perform at that level. Or the cars couldn't do it for some weird reason. So yeah, Marcus, I think, would have easily made top 6, or at least after FP2. That's what I expected, and the way he was going in, the round 1 of qualifying as well. So very, very fascinating. But again, P8, good position. He was, what was it? 300ths off P6 or getting to fast 6. 0.03 seconds. And that's the margin they're dealing with. So it's not that they didn't make it to the fast 6 because of a crazy margin. It was very, very, very slim. I think I have it over here. It was, Marcus Ericsson. So, well, we'll get to it. Marcus Ericsson did a 106.39. And Grosjean did a 106 No, that doesn't make sense. Oh. No, never mind. That makes no sense. The IndyCar... Wait, what? Combined qualifying. Firestone round 2. Let me check that once again. That makes... What? Okay, yeah. There we go. Marcus did a 106.39 flat. And Romain Grosjean did a 106.36. 300ths of a second. That was it between Marcus and Grosjean in P6. And we'll get to Grosjean. Wait. We'll get to Grosjean. Santino Ferrucci in the AJ Foyt Racing. Amazing job. P7. I think he's had a tough start to the year, and he'll be very, very happy to have started, this high up. And I think he'll be in a good spot tomorrow. Very fast driver. Just hasn't shown his full potential, but let's see. And that moves us on to the fast 6. So who took pole? Who came P2? Who came P3? And then 4, 5, 6. You ready? Because I am. Here we go. There we have it. Who took pole? Alex Palou. Again. He's an absolute machine. Now remember, he's in Chip Ganassi. Remember what I said about his teammates? Kiffin Simpson, right? Kiffin Simpson and Scott Dixon, where they started? Or where they got eliminated? Here, Scott Dixon's going to start P13. Kiffin Simpson, P19. Alex Palou, P1. That's what's happening here. Absolutely mental. Great job from Palou. He was never in shot for P1, I would say. He was very much on the back foot. He was in and around that P6, P5 range, I would say, the entire time. But when it was time to pull the big guns out, he did it. And he whacked it on pole. And an amazing lap. And I have to say, same consensus for David Malukas in P2. The leading Penske, incident-free, right, across the 4 weekends so far. He's been doing a very good job in that Verizon Chevy Penske, and he has been absolutely crushing it. So, yeah, not surprised to see him there, but it's just Scott McLaughlin's having incidences. Newgarden's having incidences, but Malukas is just quiet there, and he's just, getting a grip on the championship. So good job for Malukas. And then 3, 4, 5, 6 are all out of whack a little bit. It's Graham Rahal, who actually is one of the owners of Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan. His dad, Bobby Rahal, is the team owner, along with Letterman and Lanigan, but he obviously is a shareholder as well. P3, it's been a minute for Graham Rahal. Amazing lap. When you watch the onboards of that fifth third bank RLL car, he looked dialed in. There was no jerky movements or whatnot, which you usually see when you look at his onboards, at least from my perspective. But he did a phenomenal job with putting it P3, and yeah, I think they'll be relieved. It'd be curious to see if they have the race pace tomorrow to stick, because the thing with IndyCar is if you start top 10, any 3 drivers could win and get on the podium. So you got to really, really, really fight for it. Marcus Armstrong in the Meyer Shank Racing, going to start P4. He's one of the most underrated drivers in my opinion. Again, in that beautiful Kenny Chesney livery. If you are a Kenny Chesney fan, there you go, mate. You should get a model of this car. I hope, IndyCar and their diecast manufacturers produce those, because they'll be so cool to have a country singer just as a model. So Marcus Armstrong, awesome job. He did a fantastic job with a 1 minute 6.5 at the end, because the track sort of, I don't know why, it just sort of tailed off for a bit towards the end. But awesome job from Marcus Armstrong. I'm very curious to see what he could do tomorrow. Could he get his first win tomorrow? Or can little Dave, so David Malukas, become Big Dave and win his first? And then you obviously have the scientist of IndyCar, Alex Palou, starting way up ahead. P5, Carl Kirkwood, way out of place. I had him for pole. My pole position, I genuinely thought throughout the weekend he was the guy, and he was topping everything. And for him to finish P5, I think from what I recollect, something happened in the last lap. He had a small incident, he went off a little bit into the gravel and stuff, so that's where he lost time. But P5, nonetheless, it's okay. He still made it to Fast 6, and he will be definitely in contention for the race win tomorrow. And P6, best for last, Romain Grosjean. Took a whole year off last year. He wasn't in IndyCar. Comes back, and in St. Pete, Fast 6. Arlington, it was all right. Phoenix was decent. And then comes here, again, Fast 6. Mate, what's he on? And when you watch some of his interviews, he's kind of like, he's gotten this chance. He's so thankful. It might be his last year. No one knows. And he's just absolutely killing it. He's crushing it. And it's just nice to see Grosjean. When you're in the twilight period of your career, you can tell it with Grosjean. But he's doing a stunning job. And I genuinely, his lap today, I remember watching it and I was off my seat. I was like, whoa. And do you know what? He could have gone even quicker, not in the Fast 6, but this was during Fast 12, if he weren't impeded by Stingray Rob. And that impeding was so obvious. It was black or white. It was so easy to tell. But nonetheless, Fast 6, I thought he wouldn't do it, but then he did it. He literally recouped, went around again, and then went on a push lap, and he absolutely blitzed it. So awesome job. So there you have it. Alex Palou is going to start P1, Malukas 2, Rahal 3, Armstrong 4, Kirkwood 5, Grosjean 6. The ones I would keep an eye out for here would be Malukas, Kirkwood, Palou. Actually, all of them, to be fair. But the key question we need to keep asking ourselves is, how did the drivers stop Alex Palou? A 106.234 was the pole lap. The next best was a 106.34. So a good 10th off from David Malukas. And Alex Palou, oh my word, he was leading the IndyCar Championship from, I think, September 2024 until very recently. Until Phoenix, when Joseph Newgarden won and Alex Palou was a DNF. And it was bizarre. But in IndyCar, in a spec series, here's the thing. In Formula One, in qualifying yesterday, we had, the spread was almost 4 seconds covering the 22 drivers. In IndyCar, it's barely even a second. The entire 25 cars would be spread out by maybe a second, maybe less than, most likely under that, right? Like 800ths, sometimes even. So it's very, very difficult to win a championship in IndyCar. Now, for him to pull off what he's doing, and he's 28. He's 28 years old. He has an Indy 500 win. He has 4 IndyCar championships. So, yeah, can he convert this into a win tomorrow? I would not be surprised. Him and Barry Wanzer, his strategist, they do a fantastic job. They work really, really well together. I would not be surprised. So keep an eye out. But if you know how to stop Alex Palou, chuck in the comments below. Would love to hear. All right, then. Here we have it. Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. Bit of a mouthful. Here's a starting grid for tomorrow. 25 cars. Top 10 is what you want to keep your eye on. That's where usually the winner comes from. Palou. So the front row is Palou, Malukas, then Rahal, Armstrong, Kirkwood, Grosjean, Ferrucci, Ericsson, Newgarden, Lundgaard, Rossi, O'Ward, Dixon, McLaughlin. That's a good duo for the Kiwis. Segal, VK, Rasmussen, Rosenquist, the 2 Scandinavians. Simpson, Schumacher, Collette, Foster, Will Power, Dennis Hauger, and Sting, Ray, Robb. So that's going to be it for today, I think. Who do you think? I would love to hear from you guys. Who are you the biggest fans of? If you're new to IndyCar, what kind of stuff would you want to learn more about? But also, who do you think is going to win tomorrow's race? Can Palou just, win it? Can any of the top 5, shall we say? Palou, Malukas, Rahal, Armstrong, Kirkwood. Could they do something? Could we get someone from, randomly out of the field and he just has a splendid day? Could be. Marcus Ericsson, Newgarden, Pato O'Ward, Scott Dixon, McLaughlin. Very out of place for those guys. You just never know, right? So I'll be going live for that as well. So there you have it. March 29th, 1 p.m. EST is when the race starts. I'll be live probably around 12:30 p.m. here on YouTube and soon to be on Twitch. Still got to figure that out. But yeah, would love to hear from you guys. Who do you think is going to win the race tomorrow? Check in the comments below and make sure to turn your notifications on for, I'll put out the placeholder for the live streaming session. But tonight, funny enough, is the Japanese Grand Prix. The Formula One Japanese Grand Prix. I will be going live for that at 12:30 a.m. on the 29th of March. So it's a busy, busy, busy day. Hope you join me over there. If not, I hope you enjoy your sleep if you're in North America. If you're in the Middle East, the UK, and whatnot, make sure to join in. Why not? Wake up early, chuck it on your telly, join the live stream. We'll walk through it. We'll have some fun moments. And yeah, appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, I'll see you either then or in tomorrow's IndyCar race. Ciao.